Our next guest joins us from the J.P. Morgan Healthcare Conference in San Francisco. Daniel O'Day is Gilead Sciences CEO and chairman. And Dan, thank you for being with us this morning. I know that your theme for what you're presenting at J.P. Morgan this year is this new era of growth and impact for Gilead. What exactly are you going to lay out today?
Well, thanks, Becky, for having us. It's great to be here at the J.P. Morgan Conference. Gilead Sciences is in a new era of growth and impact, and that's both within HIV and beyond HIV. And the reason for that is we have the most robust pipeline actually in our close to 40-year history. And that's because of many things that we've invested in over the years. But let me give you one proof point of that. You know, we're right in the phase of introducing up to 10 new medicines, actually some in rare diseases, right now and over the course of the next couple of years. And that's all done from a strong financial base. And importantly, and I think different from really the sector, is we don't really have any major medicines that are experiencing patent expiries in the next 10 years. So we're the team and I are really excited about entering 2026 with, I think, an unprecedented potential to make an impact on serious diseases.
Let's talk about lenacapavir. You came on with us last year to talk about that. That is your treatment for HIV. It has to be given twice a year, and it's been rolled out in places like Africa now too. What are you seeing so far with that?
Tremendous uptake. It's really extraordinary to see how fast, both in this country where we still have 700 people every week being diagnosed, newly diagnosed with HIV. We've seen really an unprecedented uptake in terms of access in this country. Now, every major payer, as of 6 months after launch, are covering Yeztugo in this country or lenacapavir. But equally, as you mentioned, Becky, when we think about ending the HIV epidemic for everyone, everywhere, of course we have to address it in this country, but we have to address it globally. One of the things I'm so proud of is not only is this extraordinary science, 17 years in the making, but our approach to global access, where 2/3 of the HIV cases are in sub-Saharan Africa. I happened to be in Eswatini in South Africa at the end of last year to witness with my team the first time ever that a brand new medicine that was introduced in the United States was also available in sub-Saharan Africa. And that's a result of Gilead colleagues, but also working with the Global Fund and the State Department to bring this at a no profit to Gilead for up to 2 million people while generic manufacturers ramp up their supply.
Dan, I had seen a Gilead study that suggested that HIV can develop resistance to lenacapavir. What did that study show, and what do you do about it? Is it still effective and no worries about that?
Yes, there was a recent study about that. And what I would say is that we haven't seen any resistance in practice. That was really more of an early stage study. In fact, you know, lenacapavir on its own is being used for prevention, and we believe that's more than adequate to prevent the disease. In fact, it was up to almost 100% effective at preventing HIV in more than 9,000 study participants. However, when you're treating somebody with a medicine in HIV, you do need 2 medicines to make sure that you don't have any resistance. And that's where we have more than 7 medicines, actually, that could potentially be launched in the next 7 years, with lenacapavir, if you like, as the backbone medicine combined with another medicine to provide less frequent dosing for patients with HIV. And we know that patients really do want choices when it comes to HIV treatments. And we're really excited about what that could bring for the future of ending the epidemic.
You mentioned the new drugs you have coming online this year. I know one is for metastatic triple-negative breast cancer, a really aggressive form of cancer, and the other one's for multiple myeloma, lots of others that are coming out there. I guess my question gets at innovation and whether AI is really going to allow you to bring more products or more treatments to market more quickly.
Well, first of all, Becky, let me also thank you for shining a spotlight on rare diseases and also, you know, bringing your daughter Kaylee into the picture. I think this call to action that you're doing is really critical. In fact, the 2 medicines that you mentioned, both are medicine Trodelvy, that now could be used as a first treatment potentially in first-line triple-negative breast cancer. And multiple myeloma, which is actually a rare disease in cancer, we potentially have, with our CAR T cell therapy, a one-and-done treatment that could be the best medicine and therapy yet for that devastating disease. And we expect that to be potentially available in the second half of this year. Back to AI, AI is being used in every corner of our business. It's clearly impacting, it's speeding up clinical trials, it's helping us in the manufacturing setting. But I've also been spending a lot of time with our scientists on this topic. It's important to know that AI will enable scientists to do their work, but it's also important they tell me, Dan, there are limits to what AI can do in terms of coming up with brand new medicines. Let me give you an example. If you take all the text data that exists in the world today, that would probably fill up a bathtub. If you think about the biological data in the human body, think about an ocean. So not only do we need more understanding of biological data, which is really what our scientists do every day and how they came up with finding this needle in a haystack called lenacapavir, for instance, but it's going to enable us, it's going to speed up certain steps. But make no mistake, we need brilliant scientists and investment in primary research to come up with new medicines.
The AI component of this, is it going to change the picture as early as 2026? You think this is later this decade? When do you really think this promise that has seemed like it's right there, we're on the cusp of things for a while, is it actually really happening at this point?
Well, I want to make sure I say it is impacting us right now. It has been for certainly the past couple of years and in the future. And it makes a difference. If you can speed up a clinical trial, for instance, by 6 months, that's 6 months sooner you can get to potentially providing a cure for people with devastating diseases. So it is impacting us today. Really, what I want to point out is it's more complex to that when it comes to drug discovery. And here, it's enabling us. If you think about lenacapavir, it took 17 years of brilliant scientists making and testing thousands of medicines. If we could take that 17 years down to, let's say, 15 years, that would make a huge impact on human health. So it's helping us today, and we just have to make sure we understand its limits, but also its capabilities.